A few drops of rain fell on the man's face, but now it was a bright, sunny day. It turned out that the vice president was doing squats right above him. Jack, lying underneath, was too scared to move. But despite the situation, he didn't want to leave. He knew, however, that he had to get out of there immediately. Unexpectedly, the vice president slipped and fell.
Did I step on a rat? Talk about disgusting.
Not long ago, the principal was in his office, taking one last look at his collection. But when he realized his secret had been discovered, he decided to bury the more inappropriate photos. Meanwhile, George, seeing that the vice president was facing away from them, signaled for Jack to remove the wooden board blocking the hole. Then, he squeezed through. This was their escape plan. Jack had to check out the escape route in advance. But just then, he saw the principal walking toward him with a shovel. Jack had no choice but to hide in the bushes and wait for him to pass. It was at that moment that the school bell rang. Outside, the vice president grew anxious as Jack still hadn't returned. Fearing that Jack might have escaped, he decided to go looking for him. Meanwhile, the principal had finally left. Jack quickly got up and crawled back into the hole, narrowly avoiding disaster. On the day of the breakout, the planned escape conflicted with work assignments, so they couldn't leave. George and Jack were considering whether to include John in the plan, but John misunderstood and thought they were inviting him to join them for a workout. A few nights ago, while showering, George had accidentally dropped the soap and bent over to pick it up, just as John walked in and witnessed the whole thing. The strange scene made him think he had hallucinated. As George stood up, he tripped and fell. John, now even more confused, looked back at the bathroom, only to find an even more incriminating scene. George and Jack noticed John's presence, and they began to suspect that he had overheard their conversation. With a menacing look, they walked toward him, scaring John so much that he quickly ran out of the bathroom.